Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Tittle Tattle Tarot. It's Georgie. And today, I'm going to tell you about a royal marriage that will make Meghan and Harry look like, oh, Cinderella and Prince Charming. I'm going to tell you about a royal event that makes King Charles's little bit of howdy-doody about the coronation look like just a little storm in a teacup. This is horrendous. The tale I'm going to tell you today is about George the Fourth, and his marriage to Caroline of Brunswick, who's his first cousin. This is an horrendous marriage. It really is a marriage from hell. And I'm going to ask the Shadowlands Tarot just to, help me clarify some of these facts. Is it true? Was it really that bad? Because, oh my God, it really sounds horrendous. George the Fourth, now he was Queen Victoria's uncle, and he got himself in so much debt. He was a drinker and a gambler and God knows what. And he got himself in so much debt in the 1790s that the only way out, his father, a bit like Charles, cut him off, like Charles has cut Harry off and said, no more money. His father, King George III, said exactly the same. No, you're not having any money to pay off your debt. We're going to marry you off to a rich woman. And this rich woman happened to be Caroline of Brunswick, who was his first cousin. And she had a big dowry. She had plenty of money. And so that settled his debts. That settled George IV's debts. So he was out of debt. But unfortunately, he had to marry this woman. And he hated her, and she hated him. So is that true? From the moment they first met, George IV and Caroline of Brunswick, from the moment they first met, did they really hate each other? I mean, that's so, to me, it sounds a bit much to actually hate someone. Well, it was all done for the money, and what a bad way to start a marriage. You're doing it for the coin, but it's not a basis for a marriage, is it? It's it's not going to be a steady foundation for a marriage, is it? Just basing it on the coin. So there you have the Ace of Pentacles. Then you've got the Six of Swords. I think each of them, if they possibly could have done, and they couldn't. They were both, signed up to this. She was going to be Queen of England eventually, and he was going to get her money and pay off his debts. But I think if either of them could have gone in separate directions, they would have done. This is the traveling to calm waters, the Six of Swords. And I think certainly George, if he could have got in his boat and gone somewhere, anywhere else, he would have done. And the same with Caroline, she would have toodled off somewhere and gone somewhere less choppy. But no, it was all signed and sealed, and they would marry because of the Ace of Pentacles here. So, but it was just deception, and it was marrying for all the wrong reasons, all the shady reasons, all these pentacles in reverse. That doesn't tell me they hated each other, but it tells me that it wasn't based on love at all. So come on then, give me a little bit more, the real deep feelings between them. What did George IV really think of Caroline? Oh God. World in reverse, no. I mean, not at all. Not at all. She was not what he wanted. This woman did not make his world tick. She was just not his full cycle of, when you marry someone, you sort of prepare for it. You're in love, and it's like, oh, this is the start of something wonderful. Let's complete our lives together. No, it wasn't anything like that. No, she didn't make his world go round at all. No, not at all. Didn't like her at all. Okay, so what about Caroline towards George the Fourth? Devil. Now that tells me a bit more. She thought he was the devil, and I think he probably was. I think he actually treated her worse than she treated him, and they were both vile. So right, so we've got a marriage here built on all the wrong reasons, all for the pentacles. And, you know, when you turn the Ace of Pentacles round, well, it's all bad. It's never going to be good. They both just wanted to get away from each other. And it was just deceptive. It was a real wrong reason to get together. He saw her as basically, oh God, it's the end of the world. This marriage is the end of the world for me. And she saw him as the devil. God, and that was the honeymoon. So 1795, they get married. So we're in the church. And the vicar or whatever who does a royal wedding, I don't know, probably archbishop, I don't know, but he turned around to them and sort of, you know, did all the vows and everything. And it said that George the Fourth was crying. George the Fourth was actually crying as he stood there to take his vows. Is that true? Was he actually crying? Well, he did it for the pentacles. We know that's what he had on his mind. He had that on his mind, but oh God, yeah, he probably was. There's the three of them. There's the old vicar. I know you don't call them vicars, do you? The archbishop. There's the archbishop. There's Carolyn and there's George. Here, let me turn it up the right way. Three of cups in reverse. There you are. The three of them there, standing there, doing their vows. And the cups are all up the other way. No, he's crying his eyes out, all because he's doing it for the pentacles. He's keeping the pentacles in mind. You know, this will clear all my debts. I'll have some money. But he is crying his eyes out. So it is true, he did. Dear, you shouldn't laugh, really, should you? Oh, dear. And it's also said that he got drunk. He had to be drunk to go through with this wedding. And apparently not drunk. He was actually paralytic. He was so paralytic, he could barely stand when he tottered down the aisle to marry this this Carolyn of Brunswick. How awful, dreadful. Yes, Tower. Oh my God. Yes, he was. He was. There he is. There he is, the Tower, falling up the aisle. Oh God, this is so sad. I mean, it is comic, but oh my goodness, how dreadful. So yes, he did cry during the ceremony, all because he wanted it for the money. And it, well, Tower, yes, he was absolutely paralytic when he went there. So apparently this was a nasty and brutal relationship. So now this is serious. This, you know, they were vile to each other, really vile, and they were cruel to each other. What can the cards tell me about that? Vile and cruel to each other. Queen of Swords, she was very hard with her words, very cutting with her words. And Knight of Swords, and so was he. Look at this. That's her energy and his energy. He wasn't a king at this stage. He's still a prince. He's probably Prince of Wales. That will be his title. But they were both at it like knives. You know, she's cutting, sarcastic, and vile to him, and him, well, he is even worse. And I had read that he was worse, but this is saying that he was. As a Knight of Swords in reverse, he was being as damaging as possible. I mean, this is just fury, verbal fury, just the most awful energy from this man towards this woman. So, oh my good grief. So now apparently in 1821, so we're talking 26 years later. So this dreadful marriage plodded on for 26 years before George IV became king. So 26 years later, he's going for his coronation. So this is like preparing, like Charles is preparing now and deciding who's coming, who's not. And we've got a little bit of a brouhaha at the moment. Is Meghan and Harry, are they going to be there or not? Well, and this coronation, he banned his wife. He banned his wife from the coronation. So let's just have a look. Did he really? Can you actually do that? It said that he did. Let's have a look. Did he really ban Caroline of Brunswick, his wife, from his own coronation? High priestess. Yeah, he did. I mean, he thought she was a cow. Thought she was horrible. Look, we got the high priestess in reverse, which kind of says that, yeah, he did. Page of Swords, that's communication. Yes, it's all come from the palace, and you know the very sort of legal people. No, swords and no wands. No, you're not coming in. Yeah, he did. He actually banned her from his own coronation. You know, Three of Wands that way up, that will be, oh, waiting for people to come, looking for people. They're coming to the coronation and celebrating, and it's exciting. No, she's not coming. This one here, she's not coming. Page of Swords in reverse. So Page of Swords upright, very truthful and, just, anything legal, you've got the higher ground. Well, here, no, didn't want her there because she's just the high priestess in reverse. And we know what that is, don't we? He thinks she's a right old what's it. So no, he banned her. And it said that they slammed the door in her. Well, did they? Can you do that? They slammed the door in her face, the door of the coronation. Apparently, she turned up in all her finery, a bit like Meghan, turned up in her tiara and her long dress and all dolled up to the nines, and that she closed the door on her. That's what it said. Did they? Did they do that? Let's have a look. Did they actually close the door on her? The truth. Yes. Yes, they did. I love it. The cards can be so literal. Yes, they did. They just closed the door on her and said, no, you're not coming in. King doesn't want you. And then apparently it was only a few weeks later, poor old Caroline of Brunswick, she died. So they've been married 26 years. He'd only been king for a matter of weeks. And Caroline of Brunswick, she just died. She popped her clogs. And there was talk at the time. I mean, it said, oh, she had cancer. Dreadful, absolutely dreadful. But there was gossip that he'd actually poisoned her. So come on, cards. What about that? Did he? Did George IV, I'm not suggesting he did it, but did he have her poisoned? Did he hate her that much? I mean, the cards say quite clearly he did. But 26 years they've been married. He refused to let her into the coronation. Yep, that's true. He refused to let her in with the Ace of Swords. Did he really poison her? God's sake. Pentacles, there she is. There's the woman that he married. He married her for the Pentacles because, I mean, I'm not saying she was a self-made woman. Of course she wasn't. She was a royal princess, but she had all the money that he originally married her for up here in the Ace of Pentacles. And look, the 10 of Pentacles here. It was all about the money. And there she was, this woman with all the, I should think he'd probably gone through all that money by the time she died. So yes, that's her. That's who we're talking about. Did he poison her? King of Wands, we had no passion for her at all. Yeah, we know that, but you're not answering, are you? King of Wands in reverse, it was, I don't think he'd ever had any passion for her. Never lit his wand up, that's for sure. So come on then. Go on, I'll pull one more. Queen of Wands, well, she never had any passion for him, Queen of Wands in reverse. So it was all about the money. He never had passion for her. She never had passion for him. Come on then. The main question here, did he poison her? God, what an awful marriage, eh? Did he poison her? Did King George IV poison his wife, Caroline of Brunswick? Hanged man. I don't know. The jury's out on this one. I don't know whether he did or not. It's all speculation, that, and the cards aren't telling me that he did, but that tells me that he wanted to. So here you go. I just thought I had to do this because it covers, a dreadful marriage, and it covers, somebody not being welcome at a coronation. And I thought, well, it makes what's going on today look like the Waltons, doesn't it? Makes it all look rather lovely. These poor people. What an awful marriage. Well, so there you go. Everybody thinks they've got troubles, don't they? Until you see somebody else's, and then you think, well, actually, my life's not too bad at all. But as for the poisoning, no, I'm not getting a yes or a no, but I am getting that he stood back and he bloody well thought about doing it, which is good enough for me. He wanted her dead, and poor old lady, she dropped dead a few days after he became king. So there you go. That is the tale of George IV and his first cousin, Caroline of Brunswick, their terrible marriage, and his coronation, whereby the door was slammed firmly in her face. So I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing that. Take care. Bye-bye.